Alright, hello peoples, what like to listen to TalkRadar and or post in the forums. My name is Ben, although I sometimes go under the pseudonym Tianfei, and I'm making this video for two reasons. The first is it's a shout out for TalkRadar 100, yay. I have no confetti or champagne or else it'd be everywhere. And then second of all, it's a response to the question of the week, which I'll get into in a second. But first, to celebrate 100 TalkRadars, I was going to maybe, bake you all a delicious cake, but I don't know how to bake cakes. And so I went out and bought you a zebra cake because they're delicious. And I was going to put like a little birthday candle in it, but then I realized I don't have any of those, so there you go. I'd sing you a song, but I'm not going to sing in a YouTube video. So, since y'all can't actually enjoy this delicious zebra cake, I'm going to eat it on your behalf. So, give me just a second here. Alright, that was quite tasty. But anyway, more to the matter at hand. The moment I heard them say, or ask, the game that has disappointed you the most, the game that you had the most belief in and had built up your faith, and you were like, I have to have this game, I would do anything to get it. This is a game that I found out about like 2 years before it came out in America, and I was just super hyped, reading magazine previews, fingers crossed, etc. And it finally came out. Yeah. Final Fantasy fucking 11. Christ. Okay. This game came out, and I was a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I was just thinking a Final Fantasy world where me and my friends, this is air quotes doing in front of the camera, I was like, we are the main characters, and we are going to go out on bold adventures and fight powerful enemies and get fat loot, maybe some hot XP, and just be pretty cool guys forever. But what I found out when I got it is, first of all, none of my friends wanted to play it with me. So then it was me, and I was like, well, I'll interact with new people and we'll be good friends, But they decided that they didn't want to give America its own servers. No, they said, we'll take and y'all can integrate onto the already existing Japanese servers. And the game had been out for like 140 years in Japan already, so you had all these fat cat Japanese players that had like every job maxed, and they were fucking loaded, rolling in Gil pie in a corner in the auction house. And then you show up, level 1, can't speak their language, and they're typing how I smelt copper. It's a Warcraft joke, it's very funny. And they didn't want anything to do with anyone, because I don't know if you've ever heard this, but the Japanese are a bit xenophobic. So I was like, I'll play with the American players. Turns out American players are also dumbasses. Imagine that. But I still played it for a fucking year. And I finally convinced a couple of my friends to get it, but then they couldn't. They're like, what server do you play on? And I was like, I play on this server. And I'm like, they're like, well, how do I pick that server? And I'm like, you can't. You play the lottery, and they throw you on a server, and then we work for a month to earn just enough money so you can make new characters on my server. But anyway, I played it for a year. It was worse than the job I had at the time. Like, I'd go to work for recreation, and then I'd come home and play this game. And so, and I had fucking Stockholm syndrome because I bought expansions and shit. I was like, I'll add onto the shitty game with more shittiness. So anyway, okay, after therapy, and I finally got over that, I was like, I'm done with Final Fantasy 11. So I finally, closed out my account. Well, then, a little while later, I got these 2 games for my PS2. I'm sure not many people liked them as much as I did. Resident Evil Outbreak games. All right, they don't really. I love these games. They're not part of my answer to the question. They're just part of the story because, although I love these games, they had horrendous load times. It was like you open a door, and then you get up and go in another room and pen a novel. Write the prologue, come back, play through another room, go back, write chapter 1. So I was distraught about that, but then I learned that you could use the PS2 had a hard drive. And if you had the hard drive, these games, they would be like, hey, cool, you installed your shit. Your load time goes from like 13 seconds between rooms to like 3, like a normal Resident Evil game. And I was like, I got half the fucking hard drive, so I ran out that day, sprinted. And I was like, I'll buy a hard drive for my PS2. You want to know the only way you can buy a hard drive for your PS2? I don't know what else to say. The only way to buy this shitty 40 gig, $100, you can't really see it because of the focus, $100 hard drive, was I had to rebuy an even shittier version of Final Fantasy XI. And I did it anyway because I have no common sense. And I took the hard drive, put it in the PS2, good times, play Resident Evil. And then I was like, well, this game with Final Fantasy XI, and it'll give me a free month of playing it. Maybe they've improved it. And maybe if I played on my PS2 like it was originally developed in Japan, like maybe that's the secret, because I was playing on the PC, the controls are terrible. I was like, maybe that's it. I install this, I leave it, for 79 hours so I can update, and it was worse. First of all, the resolution was like 8 by 6 pixels. It was smaller than the TV somehow. And yeah, I played it. I didn't even play it for that month. I played it for 3 days, and I was like, I woke up, and I had been drugged by Square Enix, and I finally snapped out of it and got away. It was like leaving a cult. So that should be the end of the story, but it's not, because as we've established, and as you can tell by the idiotic actions I'm taking in just this video and the way I'm talking, I'm not what you would dub a sane person. And a few months ago, a couple of my friends, they saw that you could buy all 11 and all of his expansions on Steam for like $20, and they were like, hey, we'll try this out and we'll all play together, have a good grand old time. And plus, they were like, we read that they fixed some of these problems. If you walk outside of town by yourself, you're not immediately gang raped to death. And they have something called level sync, where you can actually play with your friends instead of having to plan a celestial calendar year on the Mayan calendar when you can get online at the same time, and you'll be the same levels and get experience. And so they talked to me. You're going to be disappointed in me. I bought the game again for the 360. I can't say anything else. There's no way to redeem myself for this. I couldn't. There's no number of Hail Marys that could dig me out of this pit that I have put myself in with this fucking game. I played that for about 3 weeks. And I have to be fair, it was slightly better. And if the game had launched in the state it's in when this came out, it might have been playable. So yeah, that's my story. Happy 100 podcast. I've got to go lay down because it's very traumatic for me.